Hey, welcome back to Good Days. More than 600 buses, 93 miles of light rail, very impressive service, and yet DART not nearly as well used as it could be. Dr. Shima Hamidi of the Institute of Urban Studies at UT Arlington, one of the people asking why, and in simple terms, you found basically DART's not serving the people who are most likely to be its customers.
Yes, Tim, and that's a group we call transit-dependent population, people who rely on transit for their daily mobility needs, for getting to jobs, going to grocery stores, education, healthy food. And so the question we've been asking in this study is why we are seeing this, why it's not, the transit ridership is not as high as you would expect, particularly for transit-dependent population.
And DART makes a great deal, and you point out, has spent billions of dollars on building out its light rail system, when maybe just plain old buses would better serve the population.
I think one of the issues is looking systematically, looking to the transit system as a system. And light rail is important, but a bus system that is complementary to light rail and give people mobility options that they need, high frequency service, enough coverage for the areas that you see concentration of transit-dependent population is also key. And I think these two factors have not been effective enough.
And DART, for its point, now, there was a fascinating, I'm sure you saw it, piece written by a former DART light rail rider from Rowlett, City of Dallas employee, who said, you know, I've been riding DART for the last 7 years. The problem is that DART has become a rolling homeless shelter. Sometimes agitated people, sober, if they're even sober or conscious, food and urine all over the seats. And that woman said, I'm done. Here was DART's response to that.
We give away a lot of passes. We make a lot of passes available to homeless folks in our community through various social service agencies, because while they may be homeless, they're not unemployed. They're trying to get to work, they're trying to get to services, and they use our system. That's not unique to us. That's something you see in every transit system around the country.
And yet that's another reason that some people may not want to use public transit is frankly fear of their own physical safety.
Sense of safety is one of the important factors for people making decision to use transit or not. And the environmental attributes of transit stations and bus stops are important. How much visible is the area, how much you feel safe, how much lighting, what we call eyes on the street, right. But also in the vehicle, the social classes and socio-demographics of people who are using transit the most are important. If you see most of the transit riders for a specific route are drunks or homeless people, it's an important factor for choice riders.
Absolutely.
To decide to use transit or not. And there are many ways to minimize that. Having a security officers right. in the areas that are experiencing this risk or issue the most, or even using technology, surveillance systems.
Right, right, which it has, and DART has begun to install those, still has a long way to go. Thank you so much. Fascinating look, but obviously DART has a long road to go to become a much more used transit system.